This is so freaking curious.
It's exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's exciting that pretty much one of us,
Yeah.
a YouTube movie reviewer is making a movie at this scale that has pretty much, I think, most of the diehard horror community. I don't want to say excited, even though I'm really excited, but at least aware that this movie's coming out. And hell, maybe there's quite a few that don't know that Chris Stuckmann is a movie reviewer. I mean, I can tell you right now, and I don't know if Stuckmann was any kind of influence for you, but I remember back in 2012 when I first really started like looking at YouTube, and I was just in a freaking tent in Afghanistan, bored out of my mind, and I was like, oh, there's freaking, you can actually do movie reviews on YouTube. That's cool. And the first two I saw, like most people, are Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckmann, and to see where he started, and to see the evolution to where he is now is hella inspiring. Even if this movie comes out and it's horrible. And I say this all the time because I've had people get on to me for shitting on movies recently. Maybe because it's Chris Stuckmann, because he decided not to, and I'm not knocking him. He made that choice because of the field that he's jumping into. Everybody has the right to do what they want to do. But don't shit, and I'm not saying he is, I'm saying the fans are, the viewers are. Don't shit on other reviewers because they want to shit on movies, because I hate to use the word shit on movies, but I think as a director, it's feedback. And do you want everything said about your movie to be only positive, or do you want honest critique? And that could be negative critique. So that's a different conversation, but I'm just really, it's cool to see him putting out a movie like this that, I don't know, it kind of looks like maybe a Blair Witch Project type deal. I don't know. Have you been following the coverage on this one?
Yeah, I see when he posts updates. I think he is This is a risky endeavor, because
it is.
Obviously he is gonna be critiqued to high heaven for who he is. And you can see he's already kind of playing damage control to a degree by not reviewing movies he doesn't like anymore, which I totally understand and respect and everything, but he knows what he's doing with that. It's like he doesn't want to be seen as a critiquer anymore. It's only like, I only want to talk about, but that also came from a place of like, now I see how hard films are to make, and now I want to shut the hell up because nobody sets out to make a bad movie, that kind of old adage. But he has a tremendous amount of pressure on him currently.
More pressure than most most first-time filmmakers, because they don't have a fan base. If
Roger Ebert made a film, I know he wrote some scripts back in the day that got made into films, but I think it was before he was like a big, well-known movie reviewer. But Stuckmann's definitely, he needs to put out a pretty competent film, or he is going to get shredded to the point where it could ruin his online appearances. Like, he could really look like an idiot. So.
Well, Brandon brings up a good point there. Let's talk about criticism for a second. Saying this movie sucks isn't constructive criticism, and he's right. And I've seen reviewers take that approach. Maybe some reviewers, they just don't know how to properly critique. I'm not saying I'm like really great at it or anything, but I know when a movie's, what makes a movie bad, But having said that, it could be the worst. Like The Room, I've never made a movie before, so I have to give credit to the gargantuan act of actually making a movie. Even if it's a shitty movie, you should still be proud that you've actually managed a group of people to come together and actually make a film that could last forever. And I think that's the big misunderstanding people have when people shit on movies, right? Is they think it's from a place of just being nasty. And I don't do it to be nasty. I look at it as, okay, I'm a reviewer on YouTube and I'm talking about bad movies. I'm talking about good movies. I just got to be honest, right? If this movie made me feel like I want to freaking jump out a window, I'm going to tell you it made me want to jump out a window. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you why it made me want to jump out a window. Okay?
Yeah, sure. As far as like the way I've always approached doing my channel, and I'm sure you know this because you've watched my channel enough, my I've never taken the approach to the channel as me trying to convey my opinion to you. My approach to the channel has always been, here's what the film is, and if you're this kind of person and that sounds appealing to you, then maybe this movie's for you.
Yeah.
Or if you're this kind of person and this doesn't sound appealing to you, then this movie isn't for you. So I think a lot of people approach movie critiquing as like their opinion is the law of the land and I hated it, therefore you should also hate it. Yeah. And that's not how I approach my reviews. My reviews have always been, or at least I try to make them. Sometimes movies piss me off a lot, and I'm just like probably preaching a little more than I should be up on a soapbox of some sort. But for the most part, I always try to keep a pretty level head and say, listen, even though I love this film, here's who I think would hate it. Even though I hated this film, here's who I think might like it. And I think that's a really important way to approach film, because I can guarantee you every film you've seen that you hate has fans. 100% of the films that you dislike has fans. And that doesn't make them any less of a movie fan. That doesn't make them have a worse opinion than you. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that we're all different. And so my job has always been to properly convey what the film is, to see if the person watching that video should spend their time with it or not, because I think time is super precious, and in making sure that someone doesn't waste their time is what I'm there for. And also to connect to other people, because I don't usually meet horror fans in my real life, so I have to go to the online sphere to meet wonderful people like some of the people in your comments. Not all of them. Some of them are assholes, but
well, like I'll see on like Reddit and forums sometimes people that talk about quote unquote critics, or just people that do what we do, right? We're putting ourselves out there to actually talk about a movie and say it's good or bad. But one common phrase that I constantly hear from people is that we think we're right and they're wrong. If our opinions differ. I have never once thought that I was right. To me, film is an emotional medium, and all I can do is tell you how that medium made me feel. That's right. I'm never there to tell anybody, you're wrong if you like this movie or you dislike this movie. That's not it. It's like you said. I'm there to tell them my experience with the film, and maybe tell them if it's something that they might like. Hell, the last review I just recorded, Poor Things, the first thing out of my mouth in that movie was, this ain't going to be for everybody. Yeah. And that's fine. So,
But but I think the thing that we always need to recognize is that a film is nor good nor bad. That's not how films are. Films are, its beauty is in the eye of the beholder kind of, thing here, where a film only exists to be viewed and by a person, and their opinion is that film's legacy within themselves. So you can't ever take a film and be like, this is a bad movie. That's not how film works. Film is an art. You either connect with it or you don't, and that's it. And that's the only way you can talk about film, in my opinion, is this is my opinion on the film, not this film sucks and here's why.
It's funny you say that too, because I was just thinking we're in a different era now when it comes to talking about movies, and I don't think we've ever been in this particular type of era, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Where it's profitable to pick a side. And Disney and Marvel, that whole thing right there, I stay out of that. I treat each movie fairly, and I give it its proper critique, and I don't form any conclusion in my head before I watch the movie. And it's weird even me saying this, but we live in a day and age now where you could pick, you could go back in the day in the 80s, Canon films, right? And most Canon films were a certain thing. They were really, really bad. And if the internet existed back then, and if there was, I guess, money to be made off of it, going into like the next canon film movie that comes out, because, and what I'm getting at is Disney isn't having a good track record. And I think a lot of studios, they go through their hills and valleys, you know, and I'm hoping that's what's going on with Disney. But every new movie that comes out, like, just to give you an example, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this legally, but because I'll tell you what, I won't tell you the property, but it's an upcoming Disney show. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was getting really annoyed with the constant hate train. It hasn't come out yet. The constant hate train that's already there. And the show has not. There was even like a leak of the show. And I think you might know what I'm talking about, that came out. And I mean, 1,000 videos. Oh my God, it's the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. The show's not out yet. And I'll say this right now. I saw 2 episodes of the show. I couldn't even watch the third. It's that bad. But at least I didn't go and make videos.
Yeah.
Speculating how horrible this show is going to be. I give every property a fair shake. I don't think it's fair to the filmmakers and to the property to completely just trash before the thing comes out. Give it a chance, you know? Prey's a good example, because I saw a lot of those channels shitting on Prey before it came out. When that movie came out, dude, I was doing backflips. I was like, yes, fuck you. The movie was great. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
I got too excited.
Yeah. I mean,
I love when that happens.
Negativity is definitely the most watched thing on YouTube, for sure. Like, when people come to movie reviews, they just are looking for people to agree with them, and most people come to find people who hated the films they hate, and that's just you know, the reality of it. And my channel has stayed smaller for you know, one of the reasons is that I suck, but also because I'm a pretty positive person for the most part, and I try to be very fair and open to everything. So I don't give in to that, and I refuse to change my opinion or my style or anything, because just that's why I want to do it. This is how I do it, and you know, if you don't like what
I don't say this from a place
oh, well.
of jealousy. I swear to God, I don't really care about that. I mean, this is my 9th year doing what I do on YouTube. And to be honest, I think I'm happier than ever with the channel. You know, I created a second channel 6 months ago, and I'm just enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the community, and you know, I think the horror space has went through its own hills and valleys over the past, you know, few years. Yeah. But seeing some of the traction that hate content gets, it's like, I'll look at them like, holy shit, fucking 2 hours and they already got 500,000 views.
Right.
It's not coming from a place of jealousy. It's coming from a place of shock, because and I'm just, take your channel. They literally all have the same exact format, and it's literally just taking trailer clips and repeating them over and over with a talking head behind it. And and here's the thing too, they're going to say exactly what you think they're going to say before you even click on the video. You're like, I already know exactly what they're going to say in this video, but for some reason they have to click on it. What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here, click on one of those, and hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.